Welcome to Gulfstream Park, Acacia Courtney and Ron Nicoletti. And big news down here in South Florida, Ron, is that Rainbow Six. We've seen it go way over $1 million, and I'm sure that this Saturday with that fantastic 13 race card, it'll be really bet. So we're going to take a stab at those tickets.
Yeah, I'm going to show you our tickets in just a couple of moments, and it starts in with the 13 race card. Starts in race 8 through 13. So I'm thinking that's the best place to start in race number 8.
Well, I think that makes a little bit of sense, so that's where we'll start. We'll give you a look at our tickets side by side. For me, Ron, it's going to be $86.40, and I see the same with you. Kind of backwards formats, I guess. I went a little bit deeper in the first half of the card and a little bit lighter later on.
Yeah, you know, I thought we're in agreement in the opening leg of it, and it gets, you know, I went deep in a couple, you went less deep in a couple, which is... Seems we always do that.
It is. It's usually when you single, I go 4 deep. But we'll start with the 8th race. That does kick it off. As you said, it's a $50,000 maiden claiming for the 3-year-old, 6 furlongs on the main track. And as you said, 2, 9, and 10 will do it for us. My top selection is the 10 Matter of Fact on the outside for John Service.
Yeah, and I went with 9 Toppy Zip was sitting on a winning performance. He rallied 4 wide. He finished a willing 3rd. You know, the connections, Del Romans, Corey Lannery doing so well. Would I leave the 10 off? No Matter of Fact, and we both threw in that 2-horse, Z-Town.
And you can't leave off a first-time starter from Todd Fletcher on the dirt, Z-Town, as you said. Though $340,000 purchase, debuting for the tag, proceeding with a little bit of caution with that one, but with that big carryover, you might want to throw
and
it on.
Jose Ortiz in the saddle. I mean, you cannot leave that one off because you'll probably be knocked down in the first leg.
Probably. We go to the 9th race. It's 5 furlongs on the turf. This one, a $20,000 maiden claiming for the 3-year-old fillies. My top pick in here is the one Filler Up, going for a little bit of a price. I used 3 horses in here, though.
I only went with the 2 in here, and I used the 4 B and Daddy Song beating a half length at this distance. That was a couple of starts back. Turns back, duel throughout, finished 2nd. That was, you know, 25 types going 7.5 furlongs. And I also threw in Daddy's Errors, hoping to stay close to the contact with the field. She got parked 5 wide last time out. I just thought these were the logical 2. I wanted to go a little deeper in this race, but I wanted to save something for the end.
And yes, you bring up a good point there. Hopefully make it through these earlier legs. And talking about that one Filler Up for Mike Yates, going back to the turf and dropping in class, I think you can be a little bit forgiving of her first start. She did kind of get off pretty slowly in there, and this will be your first time on the turf with blinkers as well.
I'm going to have to go back and look at that one.
Adding some on, maybe try to get, as you said, a little bit of value in the 2nd leg. But we go to the 3rd one, Ron. Race 10 is 7.5 furlongs on the turf. This one a maiden special weight. So this Rainbow Six sequence has quite a bit of maidens in here. This one for the 3-year-olds.
Well, I came this close to singling. The number 1 horse, which is actually my best bet of the afternoon, and that's Secretary of War. He's going to start on the inside. He broke from post 12 last time out, pressed the pace throughout, finished 2nd to an impressive winner called Bricks and Mortars. It's Jimmy Jerkins. He's got Jose Ortiz handling that inside draw this afternoon. And this is my best bet of the afternoon, but I just couldn't bring myself to single. I had to throw the 6 in there, Storm Team.
I actually went 4 deep in this race, so as you said, but I really thought it would either be Secretary at War or somebody else that maybe you didn't anticipate earlier. But as you said, just coming out of really strong races, we did see French Command come back and win on Thursday afternoon from that race too, and then behind 2 next out winners in the debut. As you said, Storm Team stretching out to 2 turns for Alan Goldberg, finished behind Mongo Nation last time.
You know, race number 11 on the card is the Any Limit, and it looks like a horse that's going to be favored in there for sure is the 5, Who's the Lady? Who's that lady? But I just thought you had to go deeper. I don't know how many you used in your ticket, but I went 3 deep.
I used 2 in here, and I do think that you want a little bit of coverage, and I think we probably have the same. I used Who's the Lady on top. I agree. I think that she's going to take quite a bit of money, and I did have maybe a little bit of reservations about her last time, but she looks like she's the goods for Kathleen O'Connell, now 3 for 3.
Yeah, never beaten at the distance, and I used the 4 Truge, but I had to use the number 3 Cursor in there, who's the daughter of Quality Road, making her first start. She finished 4th behind a multiple grade 2 winner called Miss Sky Warrior. That's the grade 3 Tempted at Aqueduct, coming back from Mark Hennig. How do you use that one?
I used her too. I had to include her on the ticket. I do think that she'll take some money. Jose Ortiz in the saddle. There are a couple of reservations I had about her though, because she's coming off the layoff. She's also cutting back in distance to the sprint, and going from route to sprint with that kind of layoff, it's not the strongest for the barn, but I think that those are the 3 horses you really have to look at. As we get to our next stakes action here, the 12th race, 1 mile and an 1/8, the It's the Grade 3 skip away for 4-year-olds and upward. And I think there are a couple ways to go in here. Probably the 4 Zulu will take a lot of money. I actually use 3 horses in here in my Rainbow Six.
I did the same. I used Zulu, second to Mohammed in the 2016 Fountain Youth, won the 7 furlong Tamarack in December, stretching out today to 9 furlongs. Didn't run very well in the Gulfstream Park Handicap, but it's Todd Pletcher, Jose Ortiz. It's the one that's going to take all the money.
Certainly is, and especially in this smaller, compact field. I actually tried to go against the favorite in here. I'm certainly using that horse, but I did use the 6 team colors on top for trainer Jimmy Jerkins going back to the dirt. And this horse, he's been on turf, he's been on dirt, he's run overseas, he's run here. And he actually was second in the skip away last year, though that was on a sloppy track. He was running behind the really hard knocking Valid. I actually do like him on the dirt, and going from turf to dirt when horses are in the money last time out, Jimmy Jerkins is about 47% win, so I'll use that one. I also threw on the 2 Flashy Jewel, who I think will be the main speed.
Well, I'm really interested in the number 3, Fear the Cowboys, back at Gulfstream. 5 races here with 2 wins. Trained by Efren Loza Jr. If you spend the summer with us, you know how good Efren Loza Jr. does. This one following an allowance victory up at Delta Downs, comes back and runs in the 9 furlong $100,000 Maxim Gold Cup at Sam Houston. Jesus Rios actually was there riding that horse there. Just because of Efren Loza Jr., I couldn't throw it off the ticket.
He does excellent work, and as we said, this is a small field, but it's a pretty powerful field in the Grade 3 skip away as we get to our last race on the card. Hopefully we make it here to the end with our Rainbow Six tickets. It is race number 13, 7.5 furlongs on the turf, another maiden special weight. This one for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward. And Ron, it looks like the 7 Game Factor is the one to beat for Christophe Clement.
Yeah, making her first start since the promising career debut at this level and distance. She rallied, she finished second. She drifted a bit. You mentioned the connections. Luca Panici in the saddle. I went to the outside. I'm not going to get beat by Chad Brown.
No.
I had that one to the ticket. That's 12. Silver Shaker, even going 7.5 on the outside. They've been able to win recently out there, and it is Chad Brown. And if you leave him off your ticket, do it at your peril.
And I just used those 2 as well. I almost actually thought about singling the 7 Game Factor, but I said I'm not going to leave off Chad Brown on the turf, even with that outside post. And a couple other first-time starters that might be of interest. I just used the 2 horses, but also looked at the 1 Goldwood. I know you had interest in the 9 Egg Roll.
Yeah, daughter of productive turf sire, Kitten's Joy, debuting for Bill Mott. He's not known for having his first-time starters cranked up, but Egg Roll, they always tease me about it. It's an inside joke. I had to use it on the ticket.
We know you love your Egg Rolls.
And my long shot came in this day in this race, and that's the 4 Ease His Pain. So a horse you might want to go back and look at for a little bit of a price. I went 4 deep in that final one. I mean, you're absolutely right. The 7 is the one to beat in there. That's Game Factor.
Well, we'll see if we make it to that last leg. That is races 8 through 13, the Rainbow Six sequence. Good luck, my friend, with your ticket, and we will see you on Saturday at Gulfstream Park. Don't forget about that huge carryover in the Rainbow Six. Good luck, everyone.